All right, I think we're live again on a Wednesday night from smoky Vancouver. I'm going to start off with a new song for a new podcast name, I guess, called Scene Therapy. So, Jadies and Gentlemen, I skeptically introduce to you the world premiere of the Scene Therapy podcast song. Pod Couple podcast song. David and Dave hold the reins of this game. Next comes a chorus unable to restrain its lack of respect for forgotten refrain, but refrain is a chorus for all intents and purposes. They agree to share the light lime of caustic fruit, else they're divided versus unable to win the respect of good old T and GB. Tonic and gin. It's a Pod Couple podcast show. David and Dave may be a little slow when it comes to broadcasting wit. David and David are full of it. They strive for contact seamless, but must be streaming, not streamless. Or else it's off to the dock for a fix. To the baby boomer helix. They cast these pods all over the net. To the people known as catchers ready, go to the net. I'm ready to spike this pod back at you, but we tell them you can't. That's not part of the plan. We're of the baby boomer age and try as hard as we can. Can't defend against Spike, 'cause Lee, he'd a man. We give our best impressions of impressionless folk and try to entertain with a song or a joke. It's a Pod Couple podcast show. Dave and Dave may be a little slow when it comes to broadcasting wit. David and David are full of it. They strive for content seamless, but must be streaming, not streamless. Or else it's off to the dock for a fix. To the baby boomer helix. We didn't count on COVID to muck up our plans, but it gives us excuses for disappointing our fans. The poems are rudimentary and fight to exist. The poet is rudimentary and exists to fight. Some stories are nearly truth and others full of bull, but stories they are, and one may see a reaction. If it's entertainment you're after, this may be the place. We hope you don't mind leaving with some pie in your face. It's a Pod Couple podcasting show. David and Dave may be a little slow when it comes to broadcasting wit. David and Dave are full of it. They strive for content seamless, but must be streaming, not streamless. Or else it's off to the dock for a fix. To the baby boomer helix that keeps us young and full of tricks. Well, hello. I couldn't hear that myself, but hopefully, you guys heard it, and we'll just continue on. So that's it. The Scene Therapy. I decided on that title, it was a committee of one. Well, perhaps there's a few more hiding somewhere inside my head. Anyhow, we decided that due to the possibility of copyright disputes and so on, a name change is legendary for this podcast. Excuse me. Each segment of a podcast is referred to as a scene, and I'm uber intimate with therapy. And scene therapy isn't much of a stretch from gene therapy. So that was kind of the thinking there. So we'll, see how it goes in the future. And anyhow, I'm kind of happy about it. But one thing is, I'm wondering, are you going to miss Dave as much as I am? or as much as I won't? Oh, my dear brother Dave, I'll find something for you to do for the betterment of my entertainment. I'm not sure if you're aware that Dave and I are twins. Yeah, that's right. We're twins, separated in birth. Of course, I was the firstborn with rugged good looks and rocking a porn stash, which makes me the firstborn, just in case you've already forgotten. Dave's birth, on the other hand, appeared rather tragic because the doctor couldn't coax him out. He tried everything from pork chops to whiskey, then said, maybe he's vegetarian or doesn't imbibe like the rest of the family. The doc said he's stubborn as a mule and will appear in due course. Good luck. Dave was born 1 year later, and because Mom had kind of forgotten about him, he was the first water birth in our clawfoot bathtub. Mom said he came out like a torpedo, the spitting image of Mark Spitz, and was doing the crawl at birth and had the same porn stash as Mark. So he must be my brother. Mom said that I couldn't crawl at 1 year old, but I would sooner or later catch up to my talented brother Dave, who began crawling as soon as he was born. The place I call home is a 14-story concrete building built in 1972, and does grade 9 ring your bell? It rang my bell on the odd occasion that I attended class. I live on the 4th floor with a north-facing view that had glimpses of the North Shore. But the downtown building's ever-increasing density has taken that away. No more mountains. Oddly enough, I am a bachelor living in a bachelor suite. It is on the small side for an apartment. I do hope there is a law against building them any smaller. I just can't see it. My pad is a whole 300 square feet. So here's a little clip I did. Hello, this is my pad. We're actually looking at the door on the way out. All the coats and stuff. And guess what gets hung up there all the time is this and this. They're from my sister Jocelyn. This one is sushi, and this one is, I'm going to think it's candy rocks. So there you go. We don't need that inside, do we now, boys and girls? No. There is the throne. And, well, you can't see it from here. I'll have to go in. Let's hoping not to have to go in. But here we go. Can you see that? Yes. It's a smiley face I put on there. I scratched the back of the glass. The glass was kind of ugly looking. So there's, that's where a lot of the stuff from the wildlife store, which is close by, get all the junk from there. And this is my huge, huge kitchen. Now, I'll show you the big problem in the kitchen. The big problem is, when you get here, you go to open the oven, you can bang your butt on there and then smash your head on here, which is not good. But I have a mirror there. So as vain as I am,
whenever I'm somewhere, I'll just look in the mirror and then I'll go, oh, okay, I have to take my time. I got to take it easy. I don't know if you believe that BS or not, but it sounded fun. Okay, coffee corner. I just got a coffee maker, one of those French press things. So there's the coffee corner. On one of the postage stamps. Because there's 3 counter sections. There's 2 here with the sink in the middle with actual cold and hot running water. Sorry. On this side. And then the microwave's on the other one, so it kind of takes it away. But c'est la vie. 3 postage stamps. But what are postage stamps? I don't know. Postage stamp counters. Okay. Here, this is where I eat. It's got a computer right now, but I'm going to get rid of that sucker. Because as you can see on the keyboard, looks like some mice have been eating it. Hopefully not rats. I'll skip by that. And I'll come here somewhere and give you a quick 360. If I can get everything straight again. Okay. Native art. That's a print. Another native art up there. You can't see it very easily. And central control center there. The bed. And a print, I think it's Ted Harris or Harrison print, Ted Harrison. And that's another more modern native print. Okay, now I'll show you my workshop. That's my workshop down there. Right where my tools are. Gets kind of crowded once I get down there, but it's well worth it. You usually end up building something something interesting. And then here we go again. Take you around. Sorry, I'm kind of a little unwieldy with this with the tripod, but the tripod does help. Okay, that's a couple of 3 things there actually. There's a rhodonite rock, which is to the left of the drill bit, and behind that is another rock. So, rhodonite, it's real heavy. I'm just gonna do this quickly. All the different facets on it. Some of them are rough, some are smooth. That's from Salt Spring, from Hollings Mine, and this is a drill bit from the Alberta days. It's got the cones, each cone section there with the teeth on it. Fluid goes up there, up the middle, and up through there. And there's a drill pipe hooks onto the top. Okay. And this is another, I think a Friends of Stakers, that was a doorstop, so yeah. What else? What else haven't I shown you? Oh, right outside. So, end of view, I guess. But you've seen the view before, I think. Oh, almost sunshine. This is just actually absolutely amazing. Haven't seen anything that bright in, it seems like weeks. It's probably only 1 week. Okay, so here, falling off there. There's a tiny Inukshuk just for the balcony. That's to show the way home for me. Although I'm okay, so you know, nowadays. Years ago I would have had a bit of problems because of the alcohol and consumption and whatever else. And that's my also purchases from the wildlife stores, some dinosaurs and there's snakes and all that kind of stuff. That's to ward off the evil pigeons, but it doesn't seem to work. Okay. And we'll get you to mission control here. No, I'm just wondering the best way to do this. Okay, what's happened was come on, get through there. My old computer packed it in. Everything actually. And so, we'll get you around here to it soon. So, get up there again. There we go. See, that's me in there on the other camera. And so, microphone boom, camera boom. You can see that, yeah. And then a big monitor so that I can do a bunch of different things at once. And let's, oh, I forgot. Hopefully I won't rip any cables out, but this is so I could stand up because I have a really bad back some days. So just lift that up. And I can do that. Uh-oh, how did I lose you? Oh no, I think you saw it, yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's my pad. And welcome. I just want you guys to have a look and see what's happening on the other end. Okay. Peace out. Hello. This is my pad.
Well, hello. I'm back. I had a little siesta, little nap. So, yeah, that's the rad pad, and just thought it might be interesting for some people to see where the stuff is coming from. Now I've got, I don't know why, I still can't figure it out, why I always have these weird things happening to me. And the good thing about it is that I guess I have mellowed a little bit with age, and I didn't get too embarrassed or anything. But I'll tell you the story. Urgent Care Center. Last week I was at home and decided to call the health line because I'd been unwell with COVID-19 type symptoms over the previous 48 hours. I went online to take the COVID-19 self-assessment questionnaire. There were only 2 questions, and because I answered yes to one of them, I was told that I would be transferred to a COVID-19 health nurse. I was put on ignore for over an hour, usual, before I got to talk to someone. When I finally spoke to a nurse, I was asked more questions and advised to go to a nearby urgent care center for testing. Fun. So I walked the 2 blocks to the care center at Hornby and Drake and waited in the reception area for 1.5 hours until my name was called. I met with the lady and assumed her to be a nurse because she was wearing scrubs. I followed her to an interview room with glass walls and a glass door that remained open. So transparent, I guess, would be the word I'd have to use there. So and it was the same way that for the people that before me, so I had a kind of feeling what was going to happen. Everything I said and did could be heard and seen by all the COVIDiots. That's short form of COVID idiots in the waiting room. And I just say that in jest, of course. I walked through the already open door and took a seat across from her. The lack of privacy was compounded by the fact that she was somewhat deaf, talked in a loud voice, and asked me on more than one occasion to speak up. So the volume of my voice increased from normal conversation to one of the crowded cocktail lounges. She asked why I was there, and I explained that I had been directed to come in for the COVID-19 test. I was asked a slew of other questions, which I answered, and afterward, and this is probably a big mistake, I handed her my phone with a list of my medications on display. Her first comment was, "You sure take a lot of meds, especially psych meds." I'm thinking, tell the whole world, why don't you? "What is tamsulosin?" she asked me. "It's the generic form of Flomax," I replied. "Okay, what's finasteride?" she asked. "It's a med that shrinks the prostate," I answered. "Oh, I see. What is sildenafil?" she asked. I could hear the stifled laughs from the peanut gallery. "It's a med for ED," I said, hoping she knew what the acronym meant. More snickering from the waiting room. "What's ED?" she asked me. "Damn it," I said to myself. "Lady with what planet are you from?" "You're now officially a COVIDiot," I replied in my best cocktail voice. ED stands for erectile dysfunction. Is that like Cialis? She was talking about the whatever it is. She asked. I said sort of, but here it is. Sildenafil is a generic form of Viagra, and Cialis lasts longer. She then took my blood pressure, oxygen saturation, and temperature, and I was released to the receptionist, which meant that I had to run the gauntlet halfway through the reception area. I shrugged my shoulders and gave a quizzical glance to the hecklers. The receptionist wanted my care card and asked me a couple of questions, then told me to take a seat, thankfully on the other side of the room. I waited about 15 minutes and was then taken into an examination room where they swabbed my nose. I thought that they would only wipe inside the first cavity, but once there, it was unceremoniously rammed further up inside my nose and then yarded out. I embellished the situation slightly in order to drive the tip home. Not pleasant at all. One final run of the gauntlet, then through the exit door. I walked the 2 blocks home to get my least favorite COVIDity, to begin my least favorite COVIDity, which is a short form of COVID activity. Time to wait. How long? I was tested in the early afternoon on Sunday, and thanks to a streamlined system, the app, My eHealth, I received the results in just over 24 hours. Indeed, a feather in the cap of the healthcare system. Unfortunately, I was negative. I don't know what that means, but I just don't know. I was too afraid to ask. Okay, this next one is it's a child life poem, a vid, and the pics are from Kenya. And the first one is Father Jules Goulet baptizing a baby. So this is child life.
Child life. Farewell to become ash in urn in niche. A journey from minuscule to mature to miniature, and from crawl to brag to ball. Knock on wood, it burns to ash. Buy a cheap round, as ash is cash. Don't get old like the rest of us do. Realize life as a child that grew up to celebrate life as a child.
And here I am back.
what was I going to say? You know, my monitor isn't working, so I can't tell if the when I do those clips, if you're actually getting the sound. I don't think I've seen any adverse remarks or anything, so I'm just assuming that everything's okay. Okay, now where are we? This is a poem about my parents. Lost and found. A rusting old Studebaker parked by the sea, parental voices familial to me. I'm their son, but they're absentees of this earthly existence by the sea. I always feel numb remembering when time had come and spirited them away to ethereality totally incomprehensible to me. I wonder if they are still together by choice or apart by some degree. A poke, a jab, and a nag, 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 as Jack and Mary disagree. So Jack is off to his shop to meet his good buddy Stan, to reminisce and take part of the porch climber wine of the day. Jack is now retired and still climbing those precarious porch steps. So beware of those knots that make him stumble and grumble. Human rumble. And human rumble is a line place where I used to work for Power Outfit before BC Hydro. My dearest Jack is toiling hard in his garden long after Stan's gone. It's getting dark, but I have faith he'll return. I will whine that he drinks too much wine, but my porch climber he'll always be. Jack is back. It's been so long. Dear, are you okay? Damn it, where in the hell were you? I've been right here waiting for you. Jack, is that hair on the top of your head? Your big ears look a bit smaller. What a handsome young man you are. Hell's bells, where are we? Mary, you won't find hell's bells around here, and you may want to be more selective with your word choice. Mary, you look so gorgeous. Jack, have you been tippling into that porch climber again? Mary, come with me to the stone bridge. Now look at our reflections in the water. Oh my God. Now you've got it, Mary. Welcome home. What about our children, all those we left behind? Soon enough they'll be with us for an eternity, so let's visit with family and friends and have some fun before the others show up. The end. Now, this next one is it's something that I already did, but I haven't had it on the podcast, so I'm going to use it anyhow. I'm lazy. But it was at the beginning of COVID, and that's when the everyone was buying smart things like toilet paper, right? So no one else could buy them, and it was mostly 2-ply. So this is called 2-ply, and it's 2-ply fast because I sped it up, so there's no sound, but it's actually almost better sped up. Okay. Something's really weird's happening because I can't hear them and the videos are looping, but it seems like they're doing okay. So let's just, at least I'll be happy about that. So where are we? We are on, got a poem for you here. It's called Bitterness. Difficult is bitterness, a pill to be swallowed. The palate objects, but the will is shallow. Gravity works, and it hits the jerk's gut to cause a huge stir in the cauldron of gullible. Still enough time to extract from the slime, with great effort spew forth, send it way back up north and out. Flush it down the drain to the place whence it came. But if it remains in your gut, it must go slow via butt to eventually work its way out, unless your reaction is gas compaction due to cranial contraction. Indulge in a guilty pleasure, brain fart. And some quotes. You guys can read them just to see if I say the right words and stuff like that. So anyhow, lunacy is to become totally immersed within the confines of an appendage located north of the shoulders. Prison is where you make it. And an awful lot of people make prison and make it bad for others around them. Those who think they know everything don't know much at all, and those who know everything are not of this world. Ask me anything. From ever close up to way and afar, the fine print of life reflects the stars. Some speak about living on borrowed time. I speak with borrowed teeth. If I don't wake up tomorrow, there's always today. Yeah. So, how are we doing for time? This looks like it's going to be fairly close. I got another poem in the end, but I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that. My goodness, what am I going to do? Well, I could just sit there and talk for a while. I usually don't wing it too much. So, yeah. I don't know, a lot of the people that are on here from, well, they're all over the place because my cousin Claudette is from Winnipeg. So she always seems to get the prize for the person that comes from furthest away. But I don't think that prize has been given for quite a while because someone is shirking his duties. And the last I heard, he's down in New York City. And he's, fighting the worms for the apple. But, yeah, we'll have to see if he gets back. And I'm sure he's going to have some other outlandish thing, but I really could use some of his input so that I can give you some stories on what's going on south of the border, and hopefully he'll get on a plane or a boat or whatever and go somewhere far, far away. Just kidding. Not. Anyhow, I love you, Dave. I really do. But I
I love you more when you're further away. So, yeah, I know this isn't really a good thing to talk about, or well, funny really, but not funny at all. But it's that damn smoke. And, I keep thinking, I don't watch the news. I haven't for years. And I get a little bit off of other people and stuff like that. So I do know that there's some raging wildfires in the States. But of course, I wouldn't know about them if smoke wasn't getting up here. And I'm thinking of how inconvenienced I am with this smoke, and how it stings my eyes and it makes me cough and all that kind of stuff. Well, I think they've got it worse down there. So I just hope that things get better for them, and they get some stuff sorted out, get the fires stopped. Maybe, I think it was Don Hartwig's son, Gary Hartwig, was a smoke jumper, and I don't know if he still is. Probably not. He's getting too old, I think. But, yeah, it's that would have been a weird occupation. I think I would have liked it. Yeah, the Dangerous Dave part of me would have liked it. But we'll see. Okay. I think I've used up enough time that I can, without sounding too boring, I hope, that I can end up with one more poem, and then that's it. That's over and done with. And I hope to have a little more material next week, and maybe enough to make up for the lack of time this week. And the time management is really hard, so you just never know how it's going to go. Anyhow, let's see where we are.
Face of Truth. I look in the mirror face of ambivalence. Take it or leave it. It's only a mirror, not face truth. Mirror the mirror image for all to see. Flawed I reflect when you gaze upon me. Some say it's therapeutic to look at you and say, I love you, but I won't lie. Inhumanity makes you unhuman. Mirror, love mirror, shard on you.
Okay, I'm back. I came back to Brill Cream. I'm glad I did. Let's see here. Just want to look at how come I've only got one? There we go. To see what's going up. Oh yeah, Sam's testing was 10 times. Spin it 10 times before they were done. No, mine, I think he must have spun it too, but it couldn't have been more than half a turn because he rammed it in so hard. It was a doctor too. So, when you say porch climber, I think of bucking. Well, I guess it's not a swear word if you spell it Fuchan, like his name. And that's what we used to call him, was fucking bucking. Anyhow, that's my swearing for the day. Okay, so, yeah, time to go. And time to say goodbye and peace out. I love you all, and God bless.